just let it breathe. Let it breathe, let it breathe, let it breathe, let it breathe. Beautiful if you ask me, tend to analyze. That's a part of my thoughts that I don't glamorize. Jay-Z and Beyonce got that.
What's poppin', y'all? It is Mayana Shaitan, and I am finally back from the dead. Don't know why I've been gone this long. Actually, I do know why, because I decided that I wanted to slay myself working in the food industry and tolerating stuff that I should not have been tolerating for minimum wage pay. If you work in food, you know exactly what I mean. For today's video, we are in the holiday season. 'Tis the season to be jolly. With the new year approaching, we are heading towards that time of year where we reflect on the year that we're leaving, and we make goals for the year to come. I'm very famous for this. I used to do this with my family. I still do this to this day, but what I've been noticing is that I love to make goals. I'm great at planning. I'm great at recognizing exactly what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, and how to get it done. But for some reason, once I reflect on the year that I just went through, I realized a lot of the stuff on my New Year's resolution list didn't get accomplished. And I'm trying to figure out, this is kind of sort of reasonable, so I'm not understanding why. And I feel like people are very famous for saying, new year, new me. And new year, still same you, same toxic you, same tolerating BS that you shouldn't be tolerating you, same stressing yourself out for financial purposes, stressing yourself out on stuff that you honestly just don't even need to be stressed out about. Like, you're worried about what this person is saying, what this person is doing, and it's just too much. I don't know about anybody else, but 2018 has been the year of learning. It's been the year of growth. It's been the year of going through the wildest shit. Like, I kid you not, y'all, my 2018 has been a hell of a ride, okay? It's been a roller coaster, and I definitely, a lot of the stuff that I did go through, I don't want to bring that into the new year with me. And I feel like in order to shift your life into like a much positive light and actually make something of the year that's coming, 2019 is everybody's year. I'm speaking that on everybody at this moment. But the way to make 2019 your year, you have to sit, reflect, and focus on you. You can't change any type of other situation that has to do with anybody else. You can't make your baby daddy act right. You can't make your man stop cheating on you. Like, all you can reflect on right now is you. You can't change that work situation. Your boss is a dick. You hate your job. You. And I feel like a lot of the reason is because we are so based on fear, or we're based on pointing the other finger, and we never actually sit and analyze what we are doing that may be contributing to the hell that we're going through. New year, new me. Speaking it on everybody, okay? And in order to do that, we need to reflect mentally and emotionally. We need to focus on what's in our heart. We need to process whatever heartache we went through this year. We need to process whatever mental abuse, whether it's yourself or other people, and we need to heal. We need to find healing within ourselves for us to be able to accomplish anything in the new year. For 2018, depression has been a trending something. I went through depression. I went through a lot of depressing stages in 2018. There's times where I just didn't even want to move. I was in a pretty crappy relationship, and I was living with this guy. I was sleeping all day. I went to school, went to work. If I was at home, I was sleeping. Like, I didn't want to do anything, and I never let anybody know because I'm a very stubborn person, and my family would have hit you with the "I told you so," because they definitely was telling me before I even left, "Girl, you stupid." Like, they were straight up like, "You've lost your mind." And I still did it, and I battled so much internally because I didn't want to admit that I was being hurt. I was being mentally abused, emotionally abused. It was verbal, and it was just too much. And I didn't want to admit that to anybody, and I didn't want to admit that anybody that I was sad. The first thing that we have to do is start realizing, processing, and accepting. I know I struggled so long with doing that, and it's something that I'm still working on to this day. But in order to fulfill any type of happiness or to move forward in your life, you have to acknowledge whatever it is that you went through that is causing you hurt or causing you fear or causing you anger, whatever it is. You have to let it go. You have to forgive. You have to, I'm not necessarily saying forget, but accept that it happened and find ways to move forward. I always tell myself, whatever I go through, I feel like it's a learning lesson. I feel like I needed to go through it in order to move forward, and I need to take whatever it is that I went through, process why I went through it, and then how can I change the situation? How can I grow from the situation? How can I make things better from the situation? And more importantly, how can I mold myself into a better person so that I don't have to go through this again? I feel like a lot of people are so focused on making another person happy. We're so, especially in relationships, we are so compelled to make sure our significant other is happy that we take bits and pieces of ourselves in order to fill in the void that whatever the person has. And I'm guilty of this. I definitely am. And I would not be speaking on anything that I have not lived through. And we gotta stop doing that. This is the year we start putting ourselves first. This is the year that we're selfish with our time. We're selfish with the people that we invest in, and we are selfish with anything that isn't making us better. We gotta let it go. We gotta leave it in 2018. You're not making me happy. You're not treating me right. We know exactly what we're worth. And I feel like every single person has an intuition. Everybody has a gut feeling, and we got to start realizing that gut feeling 99.98% of the time, that gut feeling is absolutely correct. And you don't realize it until after you've been hurt, after you go through the situation that you went through. And we, as people, we are more reactive, and we need to start being more proactive. We need to start seeing red flags. You got a couple. I do this now. After my relationship, I do 3 red flags. 3 strikes, you're out type thing. Like if I see 1 red flag, not everybody's perfect. Fine. Communicate that with that person. You see another red flag, communicate that with that person. You see a 3rd flag, communicate it with that person. If that person isn't trying or willing to change whatever it is that you're communicating about, or if guy's favorite line is you're tripping, or you don't know what you're talking about, or it's not that big of a deal, like, they gotta go. You gotta cut it loose. If they don't value what you're saying, they don't value how you feel, then you gotta let it go. This is my year. You need to speak that on yourself. This is your year. This is the year where you search nothing but happiness for yourself. You search nothing but happiness internally and mentally. You have to be content with your life, but content with yourself before you accomplish anything, because no matter how many goals you want to write down, how realistic it seems, how you plan it to a T, you make the date exactly what date, what time is gonna be done. If you're not there here, you're not there here, it's not gonna get done. You're gonna push it to the side. You're going to be sleeping, you're gonna be drinking, you're having sex, whatever it is that you use to cope, you're gonna be doing that, and you're gonna sit there, and it's gonna be December 28th, 2019, and you're gonna be like, wow, I did nothing. And it's gonna be a cycle. It's gonna be an endless cycle where every single year you write these New Year's resolutions, you write these goals, you procrastinate, you push it to the side, you focus on other people, getting stuff done for other people that by the end of the year, you don't even associate yourself with anymore. That person has hurt you so much and broke you down so much, like you just can't even, like you don't even deal with them anymore, and you've invested so much time into that person that once that end of the year comes, once that time of the year rings right back around, you sit there and you're like, wow, I devoted myself into this person and I got nothing in return besides a broken heart, or besides I'm in debt, or I'm paying child support, or like I'm 20 years old and I'm divorced. This has to be the year where you actually change. You actually want to change. Whether you need to seek help, find a therapist, fine. Change your circle around. If you're hanging out with people who aren't ambitious, who don't have goals, who literally sit around, smoke, listen to trap music, fuck bitches, get money, whatever the situation is, if you're sitting there and you're investing your time into those type of people, you're going to become like that. Whether you're the good one out of the group. Birds of a feather flock together. That is a true thing. My mom has been telling me this for the longest, and Show me a man and I can tell you about himself. That is very, very, very true. And if you're hanging out with people who don't have goals, who are living in debt, who are working a 9 to 5, but for some reason still can't seem to be financially stable because they're buying Jordans, they're buying a new car, they're flexing on Instagram, Snapchat, whoop-de-whoop, whatever it is, then you're eventually like, you're filling yourself up with that. Guide your eye gates and your ear gates. And if you are filling your mind and your free time with that, then eventually that's who you're going to become eternally. And we can't have that. Not this year. This year, I am speaking prosperity on everybody. I'm speaking happiness. I am speaking joy. I'm speaking living my best life all 2019, okay? And in order to do that, you got to start with you. You got to sit down when you're reflecting on your year, you reflect on every situation and how could this situation have been different if I was different? How can I change myself in order to make this situation never a situation again? How can I grow from this? How can I learn from this? How can I let this situation mold me rather than sitting in your own pity and, well, he was such an asshole, like I can't trust anybody anymore, I can't love anybody the same. No. You can love more. Let this situation teach you to love harder, teach you to see value in yourself. You know, like not everybody's worth your time. Not everybody's worth your effort. Not everybody, you don't need to invest into everybody. I don't care if the nigga is cute, baller, or whatever the situation is. I don't care if that job pays you a lot of money. If you're miserable, you gotta go. No misery. Leave that all in 2018. Leave the drama, leave the fighting, leave the crappy jobs and the crappy relationships. Anything that's toxic, let it go. Learn to be happy with yourself. And if you have to be alone for a little bit, be alone for a little bit. But always remember that whatever it is that you're going through right now, if it's hell, that's only preparing you to recognize when you're at your peak, when you're at the highest part. Going through the hardships, you humble yourself and you reflect like, damn, I've grown. I've changed so much and I'm so grateful and I'm so appreciative. And it all started with me. It started with a change in myself. And we always need to remember that before we love anybody, before we call ourselves being in any type of relationship, before we be in any type of career or anything, we have to know ourselves. We have to love ourselves in order to appreciate the little things that we may not appreciate every single day because everything else just seems so miserable. That is it for this video. I hope that I touched somebody's heart, whether it be one person, 20, I don't know. I feel like somebody needed to hear this, and I feel like somebody needs to know you need to keep fighting. You ain't reached the end. You're living in the right now and you're focusing on how to get from where you are right now to something better. And you can do that as long as you reflect on who you are and what you want to be. And if anything doesn't fit in that area of who you're trying to be, then you gotta let it go. Sometimes you outgrow people, you outgrow situations, and that means you're maturing. And there's so much better that's gonna come. Like, I promise you, take it from me, I've been through some crazy shit this year, and here I am towards the end of the year, and I am reaching my peak. I am still young, you know, like I still got a lot to go through, I still got a lot to learn, but I'm taking every situation that I went through this year and I'm letting it mold me into a much, much, much better person. And I feel like everybody should do that before they write out their New Year's resolutions, write out their goals, and maybe if you seek mental and emotional healing, your 2019 will be so much better, and I promise you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Much love, and enjoy your holidays, and see you guys in 2019.